President Zelenskyy today said he's not the obstacle to peace and that he is ready to immediately implement a 30-day ceasefire proposed by the U.S. if Russia does the same. I am very serious about it, and for me it is important to end the war, he said. I want the President of the United States to see it. I want Americans to see it and feel it. Zelenskyy also said Ukraine will sign a minerals deal President Trump has been pushing for. And President Trump seems to like what he's hearing, saying now it's up to Russia to accept or reject the ceasefire, adding a threat to Moscow.
I can do things financially that would be very bad for Russia. I don't want to do that because I want to get peace.
In exchange for what seems to be a more flexible Ukrainian approach, Trump also resumed intelligence sharing with Ukraine and the supply of American weapons. Both were suspended after that disastrous meeting in the Oval Office.
You're gambling with World War III.
When President Trump and Vice President Vance accused Zelenskyy of being unappreciative of American support and not being serious about peace. By unilaterally accepting the U.S. deal, Ukraine has now flipped the script. Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying the onus is squarely on Russia to prove it wants to end the war by agreeing to stop the guns and sit down for talks.
Here's what we'd like the world to look like in a few days. Neither side is shooting at each other. Not rockets, not missiles, not bullets, nothing.
President Putin so far hasn't commented on the ceasefire. Today, he visited his troops in Kursk, a part of Russia that Ukraine captured, but where Russian troops made major advances while American intelligence cooperation to Ukraine was suspended. The Kremlin said Russia is waiting to hear more details about the ceasefire.
We just need the rest, and that's it.
In Ukraine today, Vitaly Kim, governor of Mykolaiv, welcomed the potential pause, but said he sees no indication that Russia will stop attacking.
I think that 100% of Ukrainian people want the war to be ended.
The uncertainty and changing American position are weighing heavily on Ukrainians, who question if President Trump is on their side. Yuri, a construction worker, came to a memorial in Mykolaiv today to pay respects to his friend killed by Russian forces.
What do you think about President Trump and the way he's been dealing with Ukraine?
I can't say those words on camera. What I think about Trump, he says. It's like a young child's behavior. My 1-month-old daughter is acting better than Trump. Now, Ukrainians hope the world will see which country wants peace and which country wants to take pieces of its neighbor. The proposed ceasefire would not end the war, but it would give each side time to rest and negotiate or rearm. Tom?
Okay, Richard Engel from Ukraine tonight. Richard, we thank you.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.